Hi everyone. Now let's solve an applied word problem using system of equations. Then I'm going to show you how can we solve this word problem using 5 steps. Then step number 1. Always is important that if you can represent the word problem in a graphic, it's going to help you to understand better, okay? Then the first step is the familiarize on the understanding of the word problem, and the graphic is going to help us to understand. Then let's read first the word problem. A standard rectangular billboard has a perimeter of 600 centimeters. The length is 100 centimeters more than the width. Find the length and the width. Okay, then to understand the word problem, we have to start taking into account that we are talking about a rectangle. Okay, the figure is a rectangle. Then it's a good idea if you represent a rectangle. Now, in this rectangle, we have two things. We have to analyze that one measure is the width and the other measure is the length. But the length has a special characteristic. The word problem said the length is 100 centimeters more than the width. In other words, we can say that the length is equal to the width, but plus 100 centimeters. Okay, then this is going to be a good representation to understand what we have to find at the end of the process. Find the length and the width of this rectangle. Okay, step number 2. Step number two is translate. We have to translate this word problem into a system of linear equations. Then how can we translate? Just we have to read again the word problem and identify the equations in the text. Then the first part of the word problem says a standard rectangular billboard has a perimeter of 600 centimeters. The perimeter is the sum of all of the sides of the rectangle. Then we can say that angle side W plus side L plus the other side W, because in a rectangle the opposite angles are congruent, then plus the other L is the perimeter, and in this case the perimeter is 600 centimeters. Okay, then the two width, okay, the two sides that we named W plus 2L, the other two sides, it's equal to 600. That's the first equation. Now, the second equation, we have to continue the reading. The length is 100 centimeters more than the width. Then we identify in the graphic representation that L is equals to W plus 100, and that is the other equation. Now this is the system. Step number 3. Step number 3 is solve. Now we have to solve this system of linear equations. We have many options to solve system of linear equations. In this case, I'm going to show you how can we use substitution to solve this system of linear equations. Okay, then to solve by substitution, first we have to isolate one variable in one equation, but we have already isolated L. Okay, then I'm gonna use L to replace. Then when we have isolated one variable in one equation, we have to replace in the other equation. Okay, then the other equation is 2W plus 2L equals 600. Okay, now let's replace. Then 2W is just write the same plus 2L, but L now we know that is W plus 100, and it's 2 times, that's why I'm using parentheses, W plus 100. That is equal to 600. Okay, then let's continue. Now we have to use a special math rule that in this case is the distributive property. Then let's use the distributive property. Then 2W is going to be 2W plus 2 times W is 2 times W, and 2 times 100 is 200. Okay, of course, all of this is equal to 600. Okay, now we have to collect the like terms, and if we collect the like terms, we have to say that 2W plus 2W is equal to 4W, and just write down plus 200 and equals 600. Now let's continue. To isolate the only variable that we have now, that is W, we have to use the property of equality. That means that we have to use the same operation in both sides of the equation. In this case, we have to subtract 200 on left and 200 on right. To subtract and to isolate W, then is this going to be 4W, that is equal to 400. Okay, because 200 minus 200 is 0, then it's going to be just 4W, and 600 minus 200 is 400. Now, continuing the same way, we have to continue using property of equality. In this case, it's divided by 4 on left and divided by 4 on right, and that is going to be W equals 100. Okay, now this is the first part of the question of the word problem. Remember that the word problem is asking us to find the length and the width. Now we found already the width. Now we have to find the length. Then to find the length, we have to use the equation that we have in step 2 when we have isolate L. Then we have that L is equal to W plus 10, and we know already what is the W value. W is 10 according to the previous step. Now let's replace. Then L is equals to 100 because W is 100 plus 100, that is part of the equation, and 100 plus 100 plus 100, of course, is going to be equals to 200. Then the length is 200. Now we solve already our word problem, but of course it's important step number 4, because step number 4 is check our process. The checking process is replacing in the original equations our solutions. Okay, in this case our solution is W is equal to 10 and L is equals to W is equals to 100 and L is equals to 200. Now, what is the original system? The original system is 2W plus 2L equals 600, and L is equal to W plus 100. Now let's replace the values. Let's replace our solution, our possible solution, and it's gonna be let's start with the first equation. The first equation is 2W plus 2L is equals to 600, and now let's replace. Then 2 times W, but W is 100, then 2 times 100 plus 2 times 200 because L is 200. Of course, this is equals to 600. Okay, let's continue with the process. Then 2 times 100 is 200 plus 2 times 200 is 400. Of course, it must be equals to 600. 200 plus 400 is 600, and 600 is equal to 600. Then for now everything looks good. Now we have to replace in the second equation of the system. The second equation of the system is L equals W plus 10 plus 100. Now L is equals to 200, W is equals to 10 according to our possible solution, plus 10 according to the equation. Okay, then 200 must be equals to 100 plus 100, and of course 200 is equals to 200. Then when we replace in both equations, both original equation, our possible solution, and in both the sentence are right, is true, the sentence, then that's mean that our solution is correct. Now step number 5 is really important because it's the solution. Okay, it's the statement, and of course the statement is the answer. Okay, then our conclusion. The length of the billboard is 200 centimeters and the width is 100 centimeters. Okay, This is our conclusion. This is really important because if we don't provide the solution of the word problem, then we didn't solve anything. Okay, then always remember, write the answer. Thank you.